I hope that it'll be effective and efficient for everybody, that you will want to record it. I worked on it for a while just to see how things would come out. I think based on what we did this morning, this kind of goes hand in hand with your discussion.
All right, all right. Well, look, I know you never disappoint, Miss Pat. Look, my heading or my picture for this meeting was what's cooking with Miss Pat Reynolds. So I know you got something brewing up, bro. Like how that dude from Louisiana said, "Ooh, down your own. This must be good." Miss Pat, without further ado, my name is Sam Warnix. For those people that know me, next level marketer, team leader. I've been blessed to be one of the top, I guess, people, I won't say earners, but people that's in the opportunity launch, which is our catapult program that we use to teach and uh, teach people how to leverage and grow their business. And then by way of PDL, which is a program that Ramon and myself created because we saw a problem to the solution. People just wasn't growing fast enough in a great system. But we wanted to be able to help those people and to kind of like leverage just our total team effort to grow them and be able to get them to a greater return, which is an opportunity launch. So we created Paid Daily Lifestyle, which is the ultimate tool source, giving you more value than you ever will think, and also having a residual income on the back end, and being blessed to work with some top-notch people that are really doing it big on the internet. And like I said, it's been a blessing in the past year or last year just to connect with Miss Pat, and we teamed up on our Tuesday nights to give you guys a little bit of different look at what we do. And this is our chicken noodle soup warmed over. So without further ado, Miss Pat, you ready?
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
You're going to
yes.
pass the screen.
Man, let me pass it to you before I get in it. What's our code? Get in the corner. Let me
Oh,
pass it
don't
to
make
you
me stand at the corner.
before I get put in the corner tonight. Hold on. Let me work these controls. And for you guys that need a webinar platform, we do have a webinar platform you want to inquire within about how to get your own webinar platform for your group. Oops, I did the wrong thing, Miss Pat. Hold on. Here we go. All right, there you go.
Okay. I today is January the 5th, and I had talked to Sam this morning about his idea of having an open forum today where he would talk to you all about some of the challenges that you're having. Sam, do I have, is my screen showing?
Yes, your screen is showing.
Yeah, this icon, okay, it's gone now. And he had said that he wanted to talk about some of the challenges that you all might be having with Opportunity Launch Paid Daily Lifestyle. And that was going to be the subject for this morning. And I told him that I had planned on talking about New Year's resolutions this evening in the chicken soup warmed over, just to give you all some tips and some suggestions as how to maybe fine-tune your New Year's resolutions and to make it a grand year. We have as our motto with Opportunity Launch and Pay Daily Lifestyle, it's green in 2016. So with that having been said, we want to make sure that everybody is maximizing everything that he or she is doing. I found this beautiful picture of New Year's Eve, um, and you can see the throngs of people who are there just waiting for the ball to drop so that the new year could be issued in. And on New Year's Eve, and especially on January the 1st, most people are making what we call New Year's resolutions. And I wanted to just share with you all the statistics that were gleaned for the year 2015, December the 27th. I believe the study is with the University of Scranton. But here are the statistics that are offered. The percent of Americans who usually make New Year's resolutions, 45%. Percent of Americans who infrequently make New Year's resolutions, 17%. Those who absolutely never make New Year's resolutions, 38%. And those who are successful in achieving their resolutions, a whopping 8%. Percent of persons who infrequently have success, 49%. Infrequent success, 50% almost of the population who was actually a part of the poll. Then we have percent who never succeed and fail on their resolutions each year, 24%. Now, that having been said, we want to look at the types of resolutions that folk make. Self-improvement or education-related, 47%. Weight, 38%. Money-related resolutions are 34%. And relationship-related resolutions, 31%. And I think this is very important here. The length of the resolutions, here's that data. The resolution was maintained through the first week. 75% of those who were polled actually maintained it through the first week. Past 2 weeks, 71%. Past 1 month, 64%. And past 6 months, 46% of the folk actually follow through on their New Year's resolutions. And then we have to wonder why. What exactly is going on here? I have some information that I'm going to share with you on how you can, in fact, hopefully maintain those resolutions. But before I do that, I ran across an article that I know I want to share with everybody, and it's about entrepreneurs and what they should be doing. It was in the Entrepreneur magazine. It appeared January the 1st, 2016. And John Rampton said that every entrepreneur needs to have these 10 New Year's resolutions. Number 1, he says you need to understand your finances. Number 2, improve your health. Number 3, become a strong leader. And Ramon and San kind of addressed that this morning. We kind of touched on it a few minutes ago when San said that folk need to, step up in leadership positions right now. But number 3, become a strong leader. Number 4, get more social. And here he's talking about becoming more involved with social media. And that's not hanging out on Facebook, not hanging out on Twitter or LinkedIn, but making sure that you are using those social media platforms as a way of increasing your business. Number 5, he says spend less time in the office. Tons and tons of time spent in your office, be it at work or at home, and more time needs to be spent with your family, your friends, and yourself. Number 6, keep up with current events. Now, I don't know about this one. There's rarely a time people ask me about current events and TV, especially television programs that I should be watching, and I do not really watch TV that much. If I do watch TV, I'm going to share with you all, it stays on one channel. I am a lover of Westerns, and I think it has to do with good guy, bad guy, where the guy in the white hat always wins. And with Westerns also, you have a sense of a code of ethics oftentimes where good triumphs over evil, those principles that we look at, that we grew up, sharing when we were younger, are kind of personified in Westerns. But I keep it on channel 160. It's that encore station for Westerns. But number 6, this guy says you need to keep up with current events. Those current events help us to clearly understand what the challenges are in the business world, what some of the challenges are with our prospects. And remember that we are in the business of finding the problem, addressing the challenge, and then providing the solutions. Number 7, he says we need to hire smarter. Now, I think as network marketers, we need to be taking a look at the type of people whom we are recruiting, whom we are inviting into our business. We aren't hirers per se, but we are in the business of having people join our teams. This morning, Ramon shared with us that when he is actually talking to his prospects, he is geared towards bringing on board those persons who are more seasoned networkers than are those who are newbies, so to speak. So he has identified the criteria, if you will, for whom he wants to be a part of his networking team. And that's not to say that he's, wouldn't include newbies, but for the most part, he has determined whom he wants to bring on board with him and to spend all this time with. Number 8, you want to be more empathetic. I think it was Michael Jackson that said something like, don't judge me or don't make comments about me unless you're able to walk in my moccasins. So we have to be empathetic, not only sympathetic, but express empathy for those who are looking to become network marketers, people who are in our communities, people who are in our church communities, but we need to develop empathy. And number 9, he says you want to take some classes. It doesn't mean necessarily that you go to school. There are plenty of classes that are online for network marketers, and many of them are free. Number 10, the guy says, remember, always remember why you became an entrepreneur. What is your why? Was it to make more money, to free up time, for time freedom, or are you looking to put your children through college? What exactly is your why? You can always come back to your why if you determine that you're ready to quit. You have to have a compelling reason or vision for wanting to be an entrepreneur. And those are the 10 I wanted to share with you. I think that they're great ones, and I think as members of Opportunity Launch, the platform, and PDL, I think they are well worth sharing with one another. Now, tonight I am going to begin my discussion with, some tips on creating your 2016 and making it an effective one. So I provided tips to help you keep your resolutions or your goals for 2016. So it's a brand new year. Do you know or have any idea why we normally take this time of the year to make resolutions? Now, this right here was an eye-opener for me, and I did not know this, but Dr. John Norcross, who's a clinical psychologist and a distinguished professor of psychology at the University of Scranton, says this: it begins with history. That's how we do our resolutions. He said it begins with history. Worshippers in ancient Roman times would offer resolutions of good conduct to the god Janus or Janus, the two-faced deity who was he looks backwards and he looks forward. And he says since that time, it's become a socially sanctioned time where the plate is clean and everyone has a new opportunity. We also know that the Babylonians made promises to their gods at the start of the year. Every year they would make a promise to their gods that they would return borrowed objects and pay their debts. In the medieval era, with the knights and the ladies in waiting, the knights took the peacock vow at the end of Christmas season, and each year what they would do is reaffirm their commitment to chivalry, another form of making resolutions or keeping promises, if you will. But for us, I just want to ask you, and this is a rhetorical question, of course, what have you made for your New Year's resolutions? Have you set some new goals for yourself? Or have you set some new goals for your online and your offline business? And if you haven't, it's just okay. There's still time to do so, because making resolutions can be done at any time of the year. Now, if you have made some resolutions for 2016, that's great, because what I'm going to do is give you some tips or techniques that you can use to keep yourself focused and motivated. The first one I want to give you is less is more. Setting small, attainable goals throughout the year instead of a singular, overwhelming goal on January 1 or 1st can help you reach whatever it is you strive for, says psychologist Lynn Bufka, PhD. She further says, remember, it is not the extent of the change that matters, but rather the act of recognizing that lifestyle change is very important and working toward it one step at a time. So what you want to do is have 3 or 4 resolutions at the very most, and any more than this will probably make it hard for you to focus on. And if the resolutions you have can be achieved in less than a year, that is fantabulous. You want to just create others once you have accomplished these. My next suggestion is that you reflect on your resolutions. Now that you've made your resolutions, it's now time to take a step back. You want to reflect on each one of those resolutions. And you want to consider whether these are resolutions that you have personally made for yourself, or are they resolutions that others have told you to make for yourself. And I'm only reminded of this. My sister told me one thing very important. My daughter smokes cigarettes, and so does my son. And I always tell them about the hazards to the health with smoking. And I also bring up the fact that we have several members of our family who have been smokers and who have suffered from emphysema, lung cancer, and so the possibilities of their being, predisposed to those kinds of ailments are very high. And my sister said one thing to me: they are not going to quit smoking until they themselves have made up their minds. So if these resolutions are resolutions that you've made because other folks said you should, you may want to carefully consider that they come from inside of you and not from the outside. They need to be internal, not external, if you will. So you want to be absolutely positive that each resolution is one that you are truly desirous of attaining. And if your goal or resolution requires revision, you want to do so as soon as possible. Everyone is talking nowadays about the SMART goals, how you want to fine-tune your goals. This SMART is an acronym for the following. The S represents specific. You want to define that goal as much as as much as possible. You want to identify the who, the what, the when, the where, the which, all of those questions that come to the fore when you think of your resolution or your goal. It needs to be measurable. Can you track the progress and measure the outcome? It does you no good to say that, I want to make more money in 2016. That really isn't measurable. However, if you say, I want to earn $300 this, every month, in the year 2016 monthly, that is more measurable. Or if you want to earn $6,000 a month, that is measurable. It's a measurable outcome. A is for attainable, achievable. Is the goal reasonable? Is it going to be, can you actually accomplish it? Now, here I am making $10 in my multi-level marketing company, and then I say for 2016, my goal is to make $6,000 a month. I really need to evaluate myself and what I have as capabilities in terms of moving from a $10 a month income to a $6,000 a month income. Is it reasonable? Is it logical? And this goes back to some of the reasons why people join multi-level marketing companies when they have these get-rich-quick schemes, and that's sometimes what they are. It's almost inconceivable to think that somebody would be able to make that kind of money in such a short space of time. And most gurus will tell you that you need to give it 3 years, 4 years before you really see some market improvements in your financial well-being. So as you make those goals, you want to be sure that the money is reasonable, the time factor that you're going to put in is reasonable, and evaluate accordingly. The R is for relevant. Is the goal worthwhile? Does it meet your needs? Is it consistent with established ideals and principles that you have? The T is for timely. Your objective should include a time limit. So if you're going to make $300 a month by let's say the first quarter, you want to stick that month, that day, and that year there. You want to establish also a sense of urgency, something that will prompt you towards moving towards your goal, if you will. So fine-tune your goals as best you can using the SMART goal technique. The next thing you want to do is write your goals down. Another way to stay very focused on your resolutions is to write them down. There's just something more permanent about the written words than just having them in your head. Oftentimes, just the act of writing your resolutions down on paper will help you to keep motivated, persistent, focused, and determined. And I love the biblical quote that we always see, Habakkuk 2, verses 2 through 3. And it reads, "Then the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarries," in other words, it may take time, you just want to wait for it because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So write it down. Experts recommend charting your goals in some fashion. Now, there's no universal strategy, says Coach Hardy, for this kind of success, but you want to make a clear to-do list. It's enough. Some people now are doing what are called vision boards, and you can also keep a personal diary. All of this to keep your goals before you, your resolutions before you. You want to visualize success. Know what accomplishing your resolutions will do for you, for your family, for your friends, for your neighbor, if that's a part of your desire. And you want to daydream about it, dream about it. How does it feel? How does it look? Reaching your dream only happens if you're motivated enough to stick with it. So if you don't keep thinking about how much you want it and how good you will feel once you either accomplish it or make it a habit or even to get rid of that smoking habit, you'll lose interest in it. So you want to ask or identify, what is your why? In a video, Tony Robbins, we all know him as the entrepreneur, the peak performance strategist. He emphasizes that creating a goal that cannot fail requires two very, very important qualities. You have to have a compelling vision. What is it that you wish and desire for yourself, for your family, for those whom you have brought under your umbrella in your business? What is the desire? What is your goal, your mission? A compelling vision, he says. And He says you have to have compelling reasons. My next one is this: tell somebody, tell someone, find an accountability partner who knows and understands your resolution and who can encourage you to keep it. I think Sam calls it a road buddy during the mornings, but you need an accountability partner. The buddy system works, says Dr. John Norcross, who wrote Changeology, 5 Steps to Revitalizing Your Goals and Resolutions. The buddy system works. And he says this: and the buddies can be co-workers, they can be family members, friends, fellow resolvers. They don't even have to share the same resolutions that you have. It just has to be someone who is on your side. And for a couple weeks, he says people can persevere through even the most difficult environments lacking social support. But once you get into January, the willpower begins to slip. And remember the statistical data I gave you in the beginning there about how soon in January people start to slip. But the willpower begins to slip, and that is when we need to count on other people. And that's where our accountability partner comes into play. That's where our buddy system kicks in. It just seems as though once you tell somebody what it is that you have as your goal, it's absolutely uncomfortable and disconcerting to admit that you've abandoned your goals or your resolutions, because they look at you and they say, I thought you were going to do this. I thought you were going to do that. And it makes you feel uncomfortable when you have given that promise or, confided in that person that this is what you plan to do for the year. And we also know this, for some of us, the only way that we can get it done is by way of what? The fear of the consequences of not accomplishing it. Some people are really motivated by their own self-assurance and their self-confidence and their willpower to get a thing done. We know that. They are sometimes called the self-starters. They can roll with any punch. But there's some of us that need consequences attached to our behavior. And the embarrassment sometimes is far more, it's far greater than, not continuing on with our task. Both of these things can help us, if you will. Next you want to do is post them. You want to put a copy of your resolutions where you can see them frequently, every day. Just seeing the list will constantly remind you of what you're trying to accomplish. And then the question, where can you put them? You can put them on the bathroom window, mirror, the refrigerator door, the computer. People even post them in the car, on the windshield, on the dashboard. You can find various places to put your goals. Put them so that you can see them. And you want to read them. Say them out loud at least twice a day. The recommendation is to say them as soon as you get up in the morning and then when you go to bed at night. You want to make it a ritual of this. Do it every time, every day, at the same time if you're able to do so. And when you are saying those and reading those goals, you want to try to visualize your success along with it. So the more that you think about your resolutions, the more in focus they'll actually become. And then, of course, here becomes the essential. You have to take action. You need to ask yourself every day at the beginning of each and every day, what one action can I take today that will ensure that I am making progress towards accomplishing my resolution or my resolutions? And you want to be moving forward one step at a time as you are seeking to accomplish that goal. And I love this thing from Napoleon Hill. He said, without a plan for your life, it is easier to follow the course of least resistance, to go with the flow, to drift with the current, with no particular destination in mind. Having a definite plan for your life greatly simplifies the process of making hundreds of daily decisions that affect your ultimate success. When you know where you want to go, you can quickly decide if your actions are moving you towards your goal or away from it. Question: what action can I take today that will ensure that I am making progress towards accomplishing my resolutions? And then you want to identify time wasters. Jennifer E. Jones, the inspiration editor for BeliefNet.com, writes, a lot of great tasks in life don't get finished because we waste a lot of time doing things that are unimportant or unrelated to our goals. Think about all the time you spend on social networking, websites, or those 2 hours in front of the television every night. Wouldn't that time be better spent working towards your resolutions? We so readily say, oh my, I just don't have the time. But the truth is that you can make time. You simply need to identify the time wasters in your day and replace them with projects, with tasks that will bring you closer to your goal. You also want to use affirmations. Create a positive statement that you can use when that little voice in your head starts to tell you you're not achieving anything. What are you doing this for? You're just wasting your time. When you start to hear that little voice telling you that you can't accomplish your goals, you need to substitute it for an affirmation. Affirmations serve many purposes when trying to manifest things that you want. And you're actually applying the law of attraction. And it can be hard to maintain a positive, uplifting thoughts and ideas when we go through the vicissitudes of life. But it's almost impossible, yes, to monitor all of our thoughts 24 hours a day. But when we create detailed, clear affirmations, they can become a great tool for controlling our thoughts and in turn help to trigger that law of attraction so it works in our favor. So here are 3 ways that you can use affirmations to get great results. First step, you want to use affirmations the first step to using affirmations is to become very clear about what you want. In order to become clear, you would need to write out all the details that you would like to see and feel, to experience in the thing that you want. Remember, we go back to the SMART goals. Be very what? Specific. The clearer you are about your intentions, the more power you'll give to your affirmations. You want to also write a clear, positive affirmation, and you want to do so in the first person. The first person is I, the we, the I, stating your desire as if it is already complete. And you never ever want to say, I wish. We can't rub Aladdin's lamp and things appear for us magically. I wish. No. You don't want to say, someday I can have. And you never want to put your, you don't want to put your affirmations in a negative. Don't use the words not or never. Please don't use those. By the way, this is just a little sidebar. When you're giving your children or your mates or your friends directions, avoid using the word not because they don't hear not. They don't hear the word not, okay? For example, if I say don't smoke, the person clearly hears what? Do smoke. That negative, that negation is never really heard. So you want to reframe and rewrite that expression so as to get away from the negative. Just a sidebar. But these 3 statements that I've just given you are most ineffective when creating your affirmations. The affirmation must be created with power and with faith in order to fully shift and to trigger that law of attraction in your favor. You must absolutely omit words that connect or draw you to the thing that you don't want, okay? For example, if you want to stop thinking in a negative way, it's best simply to say, I now think and feel in the most positive way. My thoughts are happy and positive every moment of the day. Another one by the great priest, his name is escaping me right now, but it's every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and better. I'll think of it in a second, but great positive affirmations. You want to affirm your affirmations with words that promote feelings. They need to have emotion. You want to use the five senses, feel, to taste it, to feel it, to see it, to smell it. All of those senses need to be brought into play as you create your affirmations. Feelings create an internal energy that allows your whole being to absorb your statement. So you need to include your emotions, bring them to life, if you will. Now, some examples of positive affirmations: I'm celebrating feeling light and alive at my perfect body weight of 135. Great one. I am enjoying the thrill of flying. Another one: I am attracting joy in my life. I am confidently expressing myself openly and honestly. I am feeling exhilarated, agile, and alive. Those people always saying they're tired. I am feeling exhilarated, agile, and alive. I am effectively communicating my needs and desires to my loving partner. And this, remain. I am looking around me at the faces of the people I am helping, and I am thrilled to know that I have made a difference in their lives. I am feeling relaxed and grateful to be sitting here in Hawaii with my toes buried in the sand, the warm sand, feeling the warmth of the sun on my face. Notice in that last affirmation how many of the senses are engaged right there. The visual, you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it. All of these help to enhance your feelings and to excite your sensibilities and to engage the law of attraction. Now, I got these affirmations from Jack Canfield's site. I'm going to tell you, if you ever get a chance to look up Jack Canfield, please do so. He's got some wonderful information on how to improve your life overall, physically, mentally, spiritually, etc., but also to help you with affirming the positive in your life. The next goal, the next suggestion I'm going to give you is to reward yourself. Give yourself something special when you've achieved a milestone or you've overcome a particularly difficult period in your journey towards your resolution fulfillment. You want to celebrate your successes along the way. You want to revel in the joy of having accomplished your victories. And those victories, they can be great or they can be small, but reward yourself. You don't want to beat yourself up. Perfection, my dear, it's unattainable. There is nothing even perfect in nature. Our fingerprints, our palm prints, a piece, a leaf. No perfection is there. And you want to remember that minor missteps when reaching your goals are completely normal and they're okay. So you don't want to give up completely because you ate a brownie and broke your diet, or you skipped the gym for a week because you were too busy. Everyone, ups and downs, you want to resolve to recover from your mistakes and just get yourself back on track. Now, that came from the American Psychological Association, how to make your what? New Year's resolutions actually stick. And I've come to my conclusion simply by saying, as you fashion and create your goals for 2016 and beyond, your goals will provide you with direction, a plan of action. You want to evaluate them, hopefully in light of some of the advice that I've given you tonight. And I want to wish you all a positive, productive, and prosperous new year. I want to thank you for attending, and if you have any questions, any comments.
All right. Thank you, Miss Pat. I'm going to go ahead and open up the line for you guys to get your questions answered or any comments that you might have.